Hello everyone, today we're going to learn how to make a rabbit hop game. So I'm going to show you how it works. So you have to move the arrow left and right, and then you aim in position, and then the rabbit jumps and then has to touch the carrot. So yeah guys, you can also adjust the launch speed to make it a bit faster, which will make its position more further. And if it hits the fox, which is just basically a barrier in between, it will go back to its original position. But before we learn how to make this game, let's revise on what we did last time. So last time we learned how to make a quiz and learned how to input your own name, and then let Scratch tell you your own name back. So let's go into Create and make the game. Okay, so now in the Scratch editor, let's choose a backdrop. And the backdrop is going to be forest. It looks quite nice. And there we go. So you can delete the cat and then maybe choose a rabbit. Okay, and we're going to be programming each sprite one by one so it doesn't get confusing. So I'm going to show you the code for the rabbit. So we drag out the when green flag clicked as usual. We go to looks and drag out set size to 100%, change it to 35% so it's a bit smaller. So now we stay in looks, but we drag out go to front layer. What this does is if something's in the same position of it or colliding with it, it will be on the front layer, so it will cover up that sprite. So we go to motion and drag out set rotation style left to right and change it to don't rotate, so this makes the sprite not rotate. And I'm going to create a new sprite I'm going to create the arrow one. This is the launcher where it controls where it will be launching, and change it to launcher. And then what we'll do is we'll make it go to launcher, so we change random position to launcher. So this will just go to this sprite and let's see what happens. So it goes to the launcher and it's in the front layer. So that's good. So what we're going to do is go to variables and click make a variable and make one gravity. So I'm going to explain you what the gravity will do later. Just copy my code. And we're going to set gravity to negative 0.25. So we go to events and drag out when space key press. Now we go to variables and we're going to make another variable. We make this launches. So this will keep track of how many times we shoot the rabbit, and then at the end it will keep count of our launches. So when space key is pressed, we're going to change launches by 1. And it's also going to go to launcher if it's not already in that position already. And then we stay in the motion, but I'm going to drag out point in direction 90. But we're going to change direction 90, so we go to sensing and drag out backdrop off stage. From stage we change that to launcher, and then we change X position to direction. So what that does, it just points in the same direction as launcher. And then so now we want to make it we want to make it in a jumping position, so that when it's getting ready to jump, we make a new position. So I'm going to show you the costumes. So you can keep switching costumes to change its position. So this is the normal position it's in right now. And when it starts jumping, it switches to this one, so it's getting ready to jump. And then the third one is where the rabbit jumps. So we want to switch the costumes. So we're going to go to looks and drag out switch costume to rabbit E, but we change that to rabbit B. So it's getting ready to jump. And then we drag out the same one, and now we're going to do the jumping one. So we're going to make a new variable called force speed. I'm also going to explain this later in the video. And we're going to set force speed to 0. And we're going to go to control and drag out repeat until. So this will just repeat the code that's inside the loop until this condition is true. So it will repeat until it is touching edge. So we go to sensing, drag out touching edge. So the edge is this part. If you don't know, I explained this in my other videos. So once it misses the carrot, which is target, it will touch the edge. Or if it misses the carrots and it touches this edge and this edge and any edge basically. So until it's touching edge, we want it to do some movement. So we're gonna go to motion and drag out move 10 steps. So move 10 steps is just basically where the rabbit, I said carrot, sorry. I mean rabbit will move 10 steps. So just copy what I do. So we go to variables and drag out we make a new variable and we call it launch speed. And then we're going to make it move launch speed steps. I'm going to tell you what launch speed is later and set it to something. Then we go to motion again and go to change Y by 10. And instead we go to variables and drag out force speed. And now we're going to drag out change force speed and put gravity here. So I'm going to explain you what this will do right now. Okay, so I'm going to explain what launch speed, force speed, and gravity means. So the launch speed, it's the speed at the start. So as you see, it shows the course of a ball being thrown. You'll see it will go up, then it will go down. So due to force speed, so it's going to start going up, then it's going to start going down, but over a period of time. So over that period of time, it will keep going down and down, and the force speed will keep increasing, which means it will keep going down and down more until it hits the ground. So the gravity just changes the force speed with time, and constant means it doesn't change. So I'm going to explain you what the code means. So first we initialized force speed, so we set it to 0 as we don't want it to start falling yet. So we're going to move launch speed steps, so it will move the rabbit by launch speed in the current direction. So we'll change Y by force speed, so this will just make it fall. So change force speed by gravity, so the force speed will increase in negative due to gravity. So what that means is the force speed will keep increasing over time until it hits the ground or hits the edge. So let's get back into the game. Alright, so I explained you what this does now. So once it it touches the carrot or misses, then we want to change its costume back to its original position. So we go to looks and drag out switch costume to Rabbit E and change it to Rabbit A. And then we're going to make it go to launcher again. So yeah. Alright, so I want to put some sound when it's going to jump. So we go to sound and drag out start sound pop. We place it underneath switch costume. So we go to the sounds library and we're going to search boing. This is the sound when it's jumping. Yeah, it sounds nice. So we don't need the pop right now, so we can delete that. And we change pop to boing. So let's see what happens. So it's when it jumps, it's gonna jump. The thing is, you see it's falling down all the way here. So we're gonna fix that. So now we're gonna write the code for the launcher. So if you go to events and drag out when green flag clicked as usual, then we go to variables and we do set launch speed to 0. So now we're defining launch speed. So now we're going to go to motion and we're going to put it to position. We don't need to put the rabbit's position there because I already said it will go to the mouse point. It will go to the launcher. So this position will be down here. So we're going to make it point in direction 45. That's its default direction. And it's going to go to front layer again. Okay, so we go to events and you'll see when key space pressed. This is just the same as saying if space key pressed, but we change space to left arrow and we drag out another one and we change this to right arrow. So if we want to make the if the left arrow is pressed, we want to make it rotate anti-clockwise. So if you don't know what anti-clockwise is, it will rotate in the direction the opposite which clock handles move, and clockwise is the same direction the clock handles move. So we go to motion and drag out turn 15 degrees clockwise and anti-clockwise, except we want to make it a bit smaller, so we're going to change that to 2. It's not going to turn that slow because if we keep pressing the key, it will do it really fast, so don't worry about that. So now let's see what happens. So we're going to make this. Go to launcher, and now let's press the space key. So we're going to set launch speed to 10, and now let's see what happens. So you see it's finally going up, so we fixed our bug. The thing is, so if you see this code here, it will move launch speed steps. And what we did is we set launch speed to 0, but we want to make it go forward, so it finally makes the rabbit hop. But we want it to eat the carrot, so we're going to paint a new sprite as the carrot's not in the library, and I'm probably going to speed this part up anyway. Okay guys, so I drew the carrot. It's not perfect, but it's okay at least. So now we're going to program the carrot. So we're going to drag out when green flag clicked as usual. And go to looks and drag out hide. What this will do is it will just basically hide the character. Then we're gonna go to variables and make a new variable, and we're gonna call it number of carrots. So this will keep track of the number of carrots. Then later be display of the so this will keep track of how many carrots there is. Okay, so we're gonna set number of carrots to 3 because we're gonna make 3 carrots and the rabbit's gonna have to aim at them. And now we're gonna go to control and drag out repeat 10. Instead of 10, we're gonna go to variables and drag out repeat number of carrots. So it will repeat 3 times because there's 3 carrots. And now we go to control and drag out create clone of myself. So what that will do is, so it will just create 3 carrots that will look exactly the same. So that's what it's going to do. So now we drag out when I start as a clone. We're going to put code under when I start as a clone. So we're going to let Scratch know what to do when meanwhile we duplicate the carrots. Oh yeah, and I forgot one thing. We need to change it to carrot so you don't get confused. So now what we're going to do is go to motion, and we're gonna just make it go to a random position. I showed you how to do this in the 2 episodes ago. So we're just gonna make it go to a random position. Okay, let's see what happens now. As you see, the carrot is gone. That's because now we put the hide block here. We want to make it show. So we go to looks again, and we drag out show. What this will do is it will show the carrot. So let's see what happens. So it's going to create 3 clones of itself and choose a random position, and then it will be there. That's really cool. Now let's see what happens if the rabbit tries to get it. Let's just move it here. It's a bit easier. We'll change the launch speed. Okay, so you see nothing happens when the rabbit tries to catch it. So tries to eat it. So let's make some code so the rabbit can eat the carrots. So we're gonna go to control and drag out wait until something is true. So we go to sensing touching rabbit. So we're gonna wait until the carrot is touching the rabbit. And then we're going to go to variables and change number of carrots by -1. So if it's touching a carrot, it's going to decrease the number of carrots by 1. Now it's going to wait 5 seconds. Give it a bit of interval. And then we're going to drag on if statement again. So go to operators and drag out if something is equal to that. So if number of carrots is equal to 0, then we're going to go to, instead of just ending the game by dragging out stop all, we want to broadcast a message. So I'm going to explain you what it does later. So we go to events and drag out broadcast message 1. But we need to define what message 1 is. Instead of making message 1, we make a new one, and it's going to be game over. So it's going to let the player know that the game is over. And now we're going to go to control and delete this clone. So this will just delete. So let's see what happens. So let's see what happens. So it's going to delete it. Let's make maybe the interval a bit shorter and let's see what happens. Okay, maybe even shorter. We need this interval so it can delete. Okay, that's perfect. So now we're going to make code for the fox. So what the fox will do is it will just prevent the rabbit from going further. Okay, so we make a new sprite called fox. Okay, the fox is going to sit here. So now we're not going to need much code for the fox, so we're going to just drag out when going for clicked. We'll switch his costume to costume C, which is this sleeping fox. So we're just going to pretend the fox is asleep. And then we're just going to make it go to, let's make this maybe 110. Maybe 100. And what we want to do is we're just going to make the fox a bit bigger. So we're going to go to looks, drag out set size to 100% and change that to 125%. So let's see what happens. So the fox is going to be a bit bigger, but if you see, if it touches the fox, it won't do anything. So what we need to do about this is go to operators and drag out all. So if one condition is true, we're going to fit touching edge in one, and then we're going to make touching, we need to drag touching fox. So if it's touching the edge or either fox, it's going to repeat this code. So let's see what happens. So if it's touching the fox, it'll go back to the launcher. So we're going to go to sound and drag out start sound pop, but instead we change pop to, we're going to make a sound, we're going to make it chomp. So we want to make a sound that when the rabbit is touching the fox, delete that. So now we're going to make it play sound chomp. So let's see what happens. You see, we'll play sound chomp. And what we want to do is make the carrot a bit smaller. So we're going to go to looks and make it set size to, let's try 35%. That's small enough? Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. Maybe I'm thinking 45%. It looks a bit small. Yep, that's perfect. That's the perfect size we want. So we did a broadcast game over block, but we wanted to do something when the game is over, like show this image to let them know that the game is over. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint a sprite. So leave a space. Use launches because we want to put a number there. I'm going to show you how to do it later. So we've do the sprite now. We're going to change this to alert. Alert U1. It's a really weird name, but it tells us what its purpose is for, so that's okay. So now we're going to make the code for the sprite. So we're going to drag out when green flag clicked as usual, go to variables, and then we're going to set launches to 0. So launches are how many times you've attempted to get the carrot, whether it's successful or not. We're going to hide variable launches because we don't want them to see it until the very end. And we're going to hide this sprite because we don't want it to see the sprite until the very end. So now go to events, drag out when I receive game over. So this is the broadcast. So it's going to go to motion and drag out, go to X position. Now we change its position to whatever position you want. Now it's going to go to the front layer like usual so they can see it. And we want to show it, so we're just going to drag and show. Now we're going to show the variable launches. So as usual, it goes with variables, except you drag out show variable. And we're going to go to control, and now finally we're going to stop all. So let's run and see what happens. So we can control this, and then let's try to get the last carrot. Okay, congratulations. It will say you've used a number of launches. So what we're going to do is go to variables, and we're going to show launches. 4. So now you right click launches, and then we make it large readout, so you'll see just the number 4 here, and you drag it over here. What this will do is will permanently store 4, but the next time you complete the game, it's not going to show 4. It's going to show how many launches you've used. So now let's see the game. So now let's see it again. Okay, so it's really cool. So it will tell us how many launches we've used. But when you notice when I showed the project at first, we could change the launch speed. So we're going to right click launch speed again and click on slider. So what that does is we can control the launch speed, so it can go 0 to 100. But obviously we don't want to make it that fast, that it's 100. So we're going to change it into 1 to 20. 350. Yeah. So we're going to change it to 1 and 15. So now you can see we can adjust this 1 and 15. Let's say if we put 15, then it's going to go super fast. And what if we make it 6? It'll go even slower than usual. Making it going slower than usual is really good. For example, if the carrot's near you, you can make it go slow and it will get it. And for example, if you want to curve it, then having a high launch speed is not that good, since it's just going to fly all the way to the top. So yeah, I'm just going to try to get this last carrot up there. I just missed. So congratulations, you've won. You used 6 launches, so it tells you how many launches you've used. So we can move the order of the variables. I know it's a lot of variables, and I know this project is a bit hard. It's using gravity. So the purpose of this video is just to teach you about gravity. And so yeah. So we're going to change its name to Bunny Hop. I've already made one of this game, so I don't have to share this. So as you can see, I've shared this game. You can play it. You can make it by yourself. You can maybe even change the rabbit or and the carrot to like something else. For example, the monkey and the banana. So yeah, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and bye.